we kind of got the feeling that it meant something to people, all those issues that we had. People would come up to us, and they wanted to thank us. And that made me feel good, that we were doing something that was actually something on television that wasn't just ha ha ho ho, that there were little issues that we were sitting and talking and discussing, and mothers and fathers and sons and daughters were watching together, and it made us feel good. I really didn't realize at the time. At the time, I don't think any of us really realized at the time how much impact it made on people. But we're getting the message now.
I wasn't part of the first season, so
But
I loved it though. I watched, and it was great. So
did you all throughout over the course?
I learned a few things.
Okay.
I learned a few things. So, but it wasn't physically hard for me since I wasn't actually there.
I guess the hardest, really just silly things like in the beginning, they were still trying to find the characters. And like when I auditioned for Blair, they called me in because they wanted a fast-talking, naive girl from Texas. And so they called me in to audition, but there was one line in the show that I read kind of a little bit sarcastically while looking at the derriere of the girl in front of me. And then they changed the whole role, but then they wanted her to be very kind of rebellious. And in the first episode, they were going to have her smoke, but I didn't know how to smoke. And so they, created this cigarette that was supposedly smoked for me. And apparently, I wasn't even a good enough actress to pretend like I knew how to smoke a fake cigarette. So she was no longer the rebellious one. And then she kind of evolved into who she became. So, but that was one of the harder things, was to pretend that I knew how to be really just badass, I guess.
Which she's grown into, might I? Quite beautifully. The hardest thing that we had to do is find the funniest way of telling a story. I mean, what a privilege, what a joy. We got to earn a living like that. I mean, that's just extraordinary. And the kind of people that we got to hang out with. So, we went through a lot. It's just too much life to sound bites or anything, There were such amazing experiences that we all went through. But we had each other. You knew you had some friends. And you know what? You knew you could go and laugh and have a couple of great laughs in your day. And it actually helped. It just made things better, to have that,
I'll pull the vanity card, though. Obviously, I did not peak in high school. Which, now looking back at 48, I'm thrilled about. But going through it, on air, in press, is not the greatest thing in the world. No. And so I think, personally, there were a couple of years there where I had a very challenging time, because you really want to be hot for the guy that you're mad for, and you want to look cute, and everybody's going to see you, and you get very egocentric about it. And so, there's a couple years there where, we don't need to see it ever, ever, ever again.